This is Jody from Poppywinkle, and I'm going to take a few weeks off from working on my pop-up nature journal because it's the end of October and the holiday season is coming. So I've got stuff I want to work on for Thanksgiving and for Christmas is what I celebrate. And so I thought I'd work today with tickets because last year I made all these collaged gift tags and people absolutely loved them. Loved them. You know, people who had no idea about junk journaling or anything like that, but they loved them. I wrapped gifts in brown paper and then put these decorative tags on them, and they were quite the hit. But they took a while. So I wanted to figure out a way to do it a little snappier. So I thought of these tickets, and so they're the main focal point. So I'll show you how I did the tickets, which are very cool. They're just the feel of them is amazing. I'll show you how I did the tickets, and then I'll show you how I did the tags. The other thing I could do is use the ticket as a place setting. So like this one's for Thanksgiving, and it's just a little tag on a card, but it's a real cute place setting. All right, so this is how we do it. So there are two secrets to making really authentic looking and feeling tickets, in my opinion. And the first secret is this. It's drywall tape. There's a 72% chance you have some in your basement right now. If you don't, it's a couple of dollars at the hardware store in the paint department. It comes in a white, and so I don't know if you can see the difference. You probably can see the difference. It comes in a white, and I wanted to tone that bright white down a little bit. So I put these, I coffee dyed them. I cut out some strips, just ripped them off, and put them in a jelly roll pan. Laid them down and poured some coffee over them, and then just let them drip dry. And so now they have a little extra color, and they're not so bright white. And I like that look. The other thing you can do if you don't, and you can also use tea if you want to do that. But the other thing you can do is I used food coloring with this, food coloring in some water to get this color. You know, when it was in this state, obviously, before I decorated it. So there are ways to change the color, and that's full of fun experiments if you want to try them. So then after these are dry, I don't know if you can see, but right in the center is a line. I don't think you can see it on here, but right in the center is a line, and so I just cut down the line. Oh, and the other thing is mine are 2 inches, I think, right around 2 inches wide, and I think it comes in different sizes. So when I cut mine, they became 1 inch, which is just about exactly the size of a ticket. If you have a little wider drywall tape, you might want to make the length longer than I say to make the shape look right, but we'll get to that. So here's the other secret to making authentic looking tickets. It is a tracing wheel. If you have a grandmother who sewed, this is likely in her sewing kit, but it's a sewing tracing wheel that you used it for patterns, for making the marks on the patterns, and it makes the best perforations. I use it on stamps too when I'm making stamps. So you just put it up against a ruler and perforate, and look, can you see? Ooh, look at that. So cool. Now I like mine, again, this is 2-inch drywall tape, and so I cut it in half, and so this is now 1 inch wide, and so I like my tickets to be 2 inches long because that just seems to look like a ticket size. If yours is a little wider, if your drywall tape's a little wider and so your tickets are a little wider, probably make them a little longer. I do like to keep them all the same size. That was weird. I like to keep them all the same size because then you can fold them up nicely. So that's why I use a ruler and this mat where I can see my 2 inches every way. So anyway, there's some like weird residue on there, but whatever. So then you fold it up. And they look like very cool tickets. And then the last part is to use a hole punch. So here's my hole punch. If you hold it the right way, you can see exactly where you are on the ticket. And what you want is you want a half circle. My hole punch doesn't work anymore. I've gone hog wild on making these and I ruined my hole punch in the course of this week. Oh well. Worth it. So you want a half circle on the cut marks where you put the perforations. You want a half circle there right in the center, one after the other, and then here on the edge you just want a quarter circle. And again, if you just look through, you can kind of, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you can see where a quarter circle is. So then we're starting to look like we have tickets. Now it's time to decorate. Next thing I did was I took a piece of paper, colored kind of in a Christmassy color, and I cut it into a long strip, kind of just like I did the tickets, but just slightly smaller. So these are 1 inch in my case, might not be in your case. And this is a little more than 3/4 of an inch. So just slightly smaller. And I cut it in a long strip, and then I cut it, I didn't use this thing, I didn't use the tracing wheel. I just used a flat edge cutting knife. And then I cut it again slightly smaller. Once I started working on these tickets, I got a little rhythm going, and I pretty much did them all the same. It's a main sticker, some kind of a little number, and then one of these. This is my Tim Holtz, is it Field Notes? I forget what it's called. It's these rub-on things, and I'll put a link to it because they are amazing. They just add such a nice touch. They go over any surface. They're much more visible than ink. They don't smear. It doesn't matter if it's cardstock and 2 different layers. They're so cool. But anyway, I think I'm going to do this one. Here's my sticker. Here's my number element. I'm going to do it like this, and I'm going to let it hang over a little because when I put it on here, this one kind of hung over a little, and I like that. So I'm not using this as a standalone ticket, so it's okay if that sticker part hangs over. So there's actually what, 4 elements. We've got the background, that green background, then sticker, that, and then the Tim Holtz thing. So, and they're all exactly the same. 1, 2, 3 with the background. 1, 2, 3 with the background. And so I'm just like cranking them out, which is very cool. And then when I did the tag, all I did was I had a tag shape. This is cardstock. I put down some music paper, any kind of book page, just kind of ripped into a shape. Then I wanted that to be a little less noticeable, so I used the brown of the cardstock and I just stamped over it. Then I put my ticket on top of a kind of a border, another piece of cardstock. I attached it with a brad to that red part there. Then I glued that onto the tag, and then I added some extra stickers and another one of the Tim Holtz rub-ons. So yeah, pretty fast, pretty fast. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, and then on the back, I just put a little to and from with a sticker and a little piece of fabric there. So yeah, having fun with this. Thanks for watching.